Hello and welcome back to another Sims video for the first time in years. Today we're doing a little speed build based off of this photo that I found on Pinterest. I searched different buildings or different architecture or something, and this came up and I was just inspired immediately. The curved roof and the curved window, and it spoke to me, so I decided to try to build it. So that's what you're watching right now, is a speed build of that. The roof was actually relatively easy for me. I think I've gotten pretty good at roofing over the years. So not to like toot my own horn or anything, I don't think I'm an amazing builder. I think I'm decent, but roofing I feel like I've gotten pretty good at because I've experimented with it a lot. So I was pretty proud of how fast I figured out the roofing, except my big mistake was that I had the roof flush with each other, like both halves flush with each other on the front. And there's actually dimension to it in the photo if you look closely. I fix it, but right now they're even. So that's not actually what it looked like. But that's okay because I fix it. So I think what I really liked about this build was the stone and the wood together. I love that. And it just, I don't know, I just really liked it. So I decided to try to build it. It looked interesting and maybe a little difficult to do. And it was. This took me probably 3 to 4 hours total. The part that I've sped up and am going to talk over for you guys is building the shell and a little bit of the decorating. But then I decided to cut the second half of decorating out so that I could just show it to you on the tour, because then what's the point of the tour if you've already seen me decorate the whole house, you know? So, also it was really long. It was like 30 minutes of me just building and decorating, and I was like, I can't talk about this for 30 minutes, but I don't like this. It wouldn't sound good because it sounds like freaking clown music when you speed it up at 500 times speed. So I forgot to turn the music off. I forgot to turn the Sims music off when I was recording this. So this is my compromise so that I actually post this and don't waste the time I spent recording it and editing it and building and everything. What you're seeing right now is me trying to figure out the front section. This was a process. So it has these kind of archways in front of the garage and the front door, and I could not figure out how to do it. And I also wanted to use a platform to give the door a little bit of elevation so that it looked a little more even with the garage doors, which are spot A windows, but it worked so perfectly I had to do it. And it just fits the vibes really well of this house. So that was one of the first things that I ran into that I was like, okay, this build is going to be really rough. And you can see I had to stop. It looks like that right now, which I know is not what the photo looks like. I was like, I'm going to walk away from that part for a second because I'm getting really frustrated and I want to be able to do this house justice because I think it's really cool. So I went and did something a little bit easier and then went back to the front. Luckily, so I had it on tall wall height at first on the bottom. I switched it to medium wall height and it looks better and it works better, and those spot A windows come in every single height. So that was actually perfect. It made it so much easier. And then I found this beam. Tell me that's not exactly what the picture looks like for above the garage. Not for in front of the front door, but I wasn't getting a stone arch in front of the front door. There's just not, we don't have one in The Sims unless it's in a pack I don't have, which is, there's like 3 kits that I haven't collected over the years since The Sims 4 started releasing stuff. So yeah. So it's like mostly, the front's like mostly done at this point. I know that seems quick. It's been like 5 minutes. In real life, that was like an hour, maybe longer, maybe shorter, but it took a real long time. And it's not even completely done because I add some stuff. We did have the perfect lights. I think that was part of what, when I looked at the photo, I was like, oh, we have those lights. They're growing together and I love them. So this is a great chance to use them, I guess. Yeah, perfect lighting, which is great. Now I'm trying to figure out that curved window I was talking about that was on the front. So because it's like straight and then curved at the top, we don't have anything quite like that. I do end up going with the closest one that we have, one of the only curved windows that we have. It's not exactly the right kind of curve, but the other ones were all way too small and they looked weird. So I go with this one from the, I think it's from Moschino. Yeah, it's from Moschino. And I got really frustrated with this as well because the matching windows match in height, but not in width. So I had to layer them. You can see me doing it right now. I had to alt place it and layer it. It clips, and there is no way to get rid of that weird shadow thing. I did everything I could. I tried to make it perfect. It doesn't work. So you're just gonna have to deal with that if you want to do something like this ever. I'm sorry. I didn't like it either. So now I'm digging through debug, and I'll be digging through live edit in a moment to try to figure out the planting situation out front. Let me pull up that picture again. So the plants are kind of weird out front. They're like little tiny bushes and then trees along the driveway. And I could not find anything that worked for the longest time. I tried these little trees sized down. Hated it. They looked too manicured almost, which is funny because my headcanon of the people who live in this house is that they are extremely clean, or maybe this isn't even somebody's place of residence. Like, it kind of looks just like it was staged and not like somebody actually lives there. It's just like a very clean modern feel on the inside with a little bit of mid-century inspiration, which I feel like is what the outside was giving me as well. I tried to match vibes. And there's not a lot of color because the outside has no color. But I ended up going with, you saw the little trees that I put over on the side, or shrubs or whatever, and then these tiny little shrubs, and way sized down, the same ones that are on the other side of the driveway. And then I was just kind of alt placing them and rotating to make them look a little bit less uniform, because plants aren't the same, even if they're the same and they're all right next to each other. And then I could not find a good plant to go outside. I ended up going with that one, and I still don't like it. I think that's the one in the finished one still, in the finished build, but I did change some stuff, so I don't fully remember. And now we're getting to the other part that almost had me walking away from this build. The top floor. The layout of the top floor, well, first of all, I fixed the roof and the paneling sections because it looked so weird. The top floor gave me a lot of grief. I got really annoyed. It looks fine right now, like you'd think it was fine, but I kept trying to switch up the stair placement, and then you're gonna see this, I tried to do a curved room. If you have ever worked with the Sims builds, curved rooms in the Sims builds, you know that they don't like to work very well. So I thought it was fine and cute and fun. And then I was trying to do flooring. And that is where it all falls apart. First, I was trying to choose a door. So my idea up here was one large master bedroom or primary suite with an ensuite bathroom, and then like an office that led out to the deck, because it doesn't make sense for that to be a bedroom unless it's the primary bedroom, and the spacing just didn't really work for it to be the primary bedroom there. So yeah, little bathroom window that I'm putting down now. I knew from the moment that I decided to do this build that I was going to use these growing together windows that I'm putting in right now. They're perfect for it, and they come in every wall height. I love them. I think I used a lot of growing together in this, honestly. It is not a limited pack build at all. I used so many packs, but I think the ones that I used the most were growing together and the Life and Death pack, the new one, because half of the aesthetic in the Life and Death pack is a very like modern dark glam type of thing, which is kind of what I was going for. It's like a lot of black and gold. There's a lot of black and gold in this, as you can see from the black and gold doors that I'm putting in that I think are from Get Famous. Maybe? I don't remember what everything is from. Yeah, this is where the floor plan started going awry. I was choosing flooring and walls. I decided to go with light floors and dark walls. I don't change that. That flooring stays the same. You can see that little patch of flooring on the top floor that isn't the same. I try to fix it. I fix it and it looks fine. And then I see that little tiny glitch that just it didn't want to be the flooring color that it was supposed to be, and I had to delete the room. I thought that fixed it. It didn't. And then I had to put another curved room in and it did the same thing. And then turns out that the bottom floor didn't have a ceiling on the top, so I had to like make it a whole room, build the floor, make sure there was a ceiling, do everything again. And that got me so annoyed that I decided to give up on the curved room altogether. And I just went with a flat wall and decided I would put some like bigger stuff out there, some like skill building stuff. So that's what I ended up doing. And I used these curtain rods that I think are from the like Luxe pack. I don't remember what it's called. I'm so sorry. The Luxe pack was The Luxe pack was one I also used a ton during this build. But I thought it made sense to have curtains kind of drawn open, even though that's a bedroom. And it made sense to have curtains by the front door, because if you look at that picture, it looks like there's sheer curtains behind the door. And this was kind of the closest I was going to get. And it just made sense to have that continuity from the second floor bedroom to the front door with the same curtains. And I just love the idea of having curtain rods that are empty going across like the entire wall when you have an entire wall of windows. It made sense. So now I'm working on the kitchen. This was kind of just laying out the floor plan. You can see I didn't even put most of the appliances in or anything. I was just trying to figure out where would be best to have the kitchen, where to have the dining area, and how to kind of break it up, because right now it's kind of just all black and white. So this is where I start putting in a tiny bit of color. I decided on orange as the accent because I just love this orange. I love those chairs and I love orange. Honestly, it's one of my favorite colors. So that's why I went with that. And then I decided to add a rug to make it just feel more like its own space in the dining area. And I did go with a pretty basic rug. And then I also did a rug in the living area, which is a pretty small living area. But I feel like it has everything you need. It has a fireplace. And it has a TV. I used the frame TV. I love the frame TV. It looks so good. And yeah, this is, you can see I put in a little bit more color finally. I promise there's some color upstairs too, and I start putting in plants and all of that stuff later. And you're not gonna see most of that, but I do use clutter. I'll show you all of it on the tour. Yeah, I think we're almost at the end of the speed build now. I'm just making the little living room area, and I didn't even finish doing it, but this was all in one sitting, and there was too much. I needed to stop. So in just a moment, I'm going to take you through a tour instead. So this is what the house ended up looking like. This is just like a sim that I had come in here. I did put some stuff outside. If I was really going by the picture, there would be a little brown fence and more buildings around it. I did not want to do that. That is a lot. So let's go through this and I'll just give you a little tour. I'm not great at doing the tours, so apologies for that. So let's just do a little tour. You can enter tab mode. If I'm moving real slow, that's why. I freaking hate the tab mode. It goes so slow. So you walk through the door and you are greeted by the stairs immediately. This cool little light, nice little gallery wall, plant table because I needed to add more greenery, a couple of clutter items, thermostat. I put light switches everywhere. This is the first time I have ever put light switches in my build quite like this. We have a nice little lamp and a table. This is what the dining area ended up looking like, and I actually really like the art like that with like its own lighting. When it's nighttime, it's kind of darker in there, so you can really see it shining the light on it. It's really fun. And a little tulip on the table to complement the orange. And then this is the kitchen. This is what we ended up with. I put in some cute pendant lights. I decided to go with black appliances to kind of break up the white because it was starting to feel monotonous and I didn't like it, but I don't like any of the black counters as much. Plus with the walls being black, that felt like too much. So yeah, this is what I went with. Very little bit of clutter on here because I just didn't feel like this is the kind of house that would have a ton of clutter. I don't know. They seem like very clean people, or like I said, it's staged. Of course, because it's me, there's multiple bookshelves. There are so many books in this house. So, you know, that's not surprising. If you know me at all, I put a cute little retro radio. I don't know why I couldn't come up with the word for that. But this is what the living room ended up looking like with clutter and everything. Very simple, very basic. It doesn't look like the fireplace or the TV work, but I promise the TV works. It's functional for The Sims. And so does the fireplace. They just look a little more chic, I suppose. I did put shoes next to the door, so they have a little, oh, that's why it looks weird, because I didn't have the second floor loaded. Okay, this is the second floor. So like I said, I ended up just keeping this like an open space, and I gave them a piano. They seemed like the kind of people who would own a baby grand, and this is the most vintage thing in the house, but I just loved, like, I love how this looks. Look at that. Tell me that's not gorgeous. I should have changed out the light. Kind of forgot about the lights, so I didn't change it out. You're gonna see those lights in a lot of places. I forgot about lights when I got to the second floor. You know, I had to do a hanging plant, and I have this little plant wall, and then I always forget about this gallery wall, but it is probably one of the cutest gallery walls that we have pre-made in The Sims with all of the plants and stuff. It just makes me so happy. I love it. And then let's go into the bathroom real quick. Pretty basic bathroom. You got your black counters all the way along the wall. Some towels. Ooh, I keep pressing the wrong buttons. I told you I'm not good at this. I'm sorry. Little toilet alcove. And then I was pretty proud of this, honestly. This is the shower. It's unnecessarily nice, like unnecessarily bougie, but they have some candles, some lotions. They have a little plant that lives in here, a gold shower, their shower stuff, and just really nice tile. And then there's just a little bit of bathroom clutter to make it look less empty and sad. And then we're gonna go into the, well, let's go outside, actually, since we're right here. First of all, look at this view. I built this on a growing together lot in San Sequoia, so it has a cute view of the bridge and the like harbor. I love it. So just imagine drinking your morning coffee in these chairs, reading a book, staring at the water. Sounds ideal to me, personally. And then this is the bedroom. So they have a nice little desk area. I gave them a typewriter instead of a real computer because I thought the aesthetic seemed cooler. And they have a bunch of diplomas, including one for the Grim Reaper career, I think. I don't know, it was in debug. They have a little, their dresser has like binders and a plant, and this bust, they have a full-length mirror because I think it's very important to look at your outfit before you leave the room, and also imagine the fit checks in this mirror. Those will go hard. Anyway, their end tables, their bedside tables match the dresser, something I've never been able to do. They have a record player because they are that person. A cute little, more vintage looking table over there with some cute prints. I think those are from, I have no idea what pack those are from. Those are from a kit. And then these cute little chairs. And you can't even see the curtain rods when you're inside. So that's really cool because the windows kind of go into the ceiling a little bit. But yeah, that's the build. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you have any build ideas, leave them in the comments below. I have a list going, and I'm very excited about a lot of them. I have one in progress right now that I have not been recording, but the tour itself will probably take me a half hour because it's a big one. Big build, lots of little stuff in it. So that's it. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.